Hi everyone, I am Olalu Adada.
And my name is Muriel Jean-Michel. This is series one. We're going to be talking about all the ships. So you can think about relationships, situationships, friendships, just all of the ships in total. And we're excited about bringing you conversations we usually have, on the couch. And we thought maybe there's some people that can benefit from this.
Yes.
So that's where we're going.
This is you coming into our conversations
Yes.
that we have in my living room.
All of the time.
Over FaceTime, in the kitchen, everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay. Do you know what my daddy said?
What? No.
No?
No, I don't know what he said.
No,
You guys say it a different way.
Yeah, transparently sharing, my dad, he called me one time because I had gotten a fake ring.
Yeah.
Like a fake wedding ring. Because I just wanted to kind of focus on some stuff
Yeah.
we were doing, and I thought, it's a lot. Let's just focus on this particular thing. And I remember I came in, and then my dad was like, where did you get that ring from?
What is happening?
Nobody came to talk to me. You have a ring. I don't understand. And I said, no, that is fake. I bought it. He's like, you bought a fake? Like he's questioning me. He's like, what is going on? And I go ahead and he says, Muriel, I have to be honest with you. It took me a long time. I'm a man, but it took me after getting into my 30s almost to really realize the power of having a godly, functional, steadfast woman. It took me a long time for me to realize this. And he was like, a lot of men will not just understand you because you think ahead. Like, before I give you something to do, it's done. You bring it back, you change, you do all of these different things. And I applaud you for that, and I'm proud of you. But he says, I know where we gonna find a husband for you. He's like, I don't know where we gonna find. I was like, you're looking like, but is something wrong with me, Daddy? Like, why are you saying that? And he's like, no, nothing is wrong with you. It's just in the sense of, it takes a lot of maturity to be with someone like you. And I'm telling you, as your father, it took me a while to even get mature for myself.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And for our family. So I can only imagine that the men that are probably coming up to you to talk to you where you feel like you need to go and get a ring is not because something is wrong with you. It's because they need to come to a level of maturity. And sometimes you're going to have to give them that grace to mature. Just like they mature in those areas that they're maturing in. You're also maturing in different areas because everybody grows at different speeds and times.
Absolutely.
And the ring really worked until there was this one day that this guy asked me, so how happily married are you?
My ninja.
And I was like, did this ninja just
Wait. How happily married are you?
I'm telling you, it's the wild west out
In the
here.
bin.
So I just, side note for women, if you're single and married men approach you, do it for the kingdom, man. Literally say, please go home to your wife and kids. Literally, let's really be, because it's very strange to me nowadays when I talk to different women or encourage them about God or whatever, not God or whatever, God forgive me, but most encourage them about God in different parts of their lives, and they say stuff like, I tell a man I'm saved and he's still asking me to have sex. It's like, when I say I'm saved, it means that I'm really saved. I'm not half saved or third saved.
That's an entire different construct.
I mean, I'm really surrendered to God and living for Him for real. This is not a show or a gimmick or something.
No, I feel you because when I did my whole online dating thing, I experimented for 3 or 4 months.
We gonna unpack that. We're gonna unpack that.
You see, and the thing is, and it's okay. There are different types of Christians out here. You got some fried ones, you got boiled ones, you got roasted ones, you got different types of fish. But I remember it was really interesting because especially for the black guys, most of them had Christian in their bio.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what else is. And then I'm seeing, smoking weed pics, like taking ecstasy. Would you have sex on the first date? And I'm just like, yeah.
Surrender your body as a holy and living sacrifice unto the Lord.
You know, like I can see that it's in some way you love the Lord, just not the way I would like my husband.
Not the way, not even my husband. Like, let's love the Lord
There's
for
a
real.
standard.
Yeah, let's love the Lord for real by
Yes.
yourself before wanting to get with someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
learn how to obey God first. Like if God cannot, I personally, it's a conversation I've had with like family and stuff and like friends as well.
Mhm.
I would be afraid to walk down the aisle to a man that does not bow to God.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like I would be in deep
You're
trouble.
walking into hell.
Straight
up.
You know?
You're walking into hell.
I mean, like really bow. I mean, like to the point where I can feel like, oh, if he offends me, when he goes to pray, the Holy Spirit will say, "Go speak to your wife and then come back and speak to me."
Girl,
like that's the kind.
If he's not set up like that, you're in trouble.
You know, like what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
You're in trouble.
Anyways, let's get back to where we were. Yeah.
I know that, you know, we've had a lot of discourse about, you know, what that begins to look like. I think it's good for us to give the guys and the dolls or ladies, women, some tips, just like tangible things to look out for or begin to work on yourself for if you identify that maybe there's intimidation with certain types of women, or if you as a black woman are struggling to not be approached, there could be things that you're doing that's like complete no-no, like they're crossing out your name before you get a chance to show them your heart and who you are. So first of all,
I want to pull out my research because you know they'll ask us where we got this information from. So
do that.
I'm gonna go ahead, and then I don't know if you know anything about qualitative research.
Yeah.
Then this is what you know. This was I found men were saying this was men said mostly pattern to me. It was he said they said men have to then reflect how important is my ego versus the person I want to build a life with. like that's what the research showed. It was like they were saying that mostly they were saying if I really have to be with a powerful woman, then I have to check my ego.
That's good.
They were mostly because I was asking what would it take for you, you know, to be with a powerful woman. They said, and the most of the answers, you know, correlated to this response, which was I would really have to think about. Is my ego more important than being with this woman that I love? Yeah. Do you understand? Do I need to come out in public and also be more powerful than her? Or can both of us be powerful in whatever sphere of influence we're called to? Yeah. But then we still have a marriage dynamic where she submits to me and I lead her. Yeah. That absolutely works. So I think as you were saying, like tips for men based on what we got out of this, what I would say is check your ego. Do you understand? Check what is really important to you in a relationship. Is it looking like you're on top, or is it walking in partnership with somebody that you're also leading? Yeah. So that's the first thing. Tip. I have a second tip before you. Please stop staring at women and saying nothing. I wanted to say that so bad. Well. I wanted to say that so bad because guys. Sometimes, especially as people, you know, who study people and who study human behavior, sometimes I see a guy, and he's so interested in this woman, like his body language tells you
he weak in the knees,
and he want to take her out for lunch, but he'll just stare at her. He'll stare for like 3 weeks. He'll stare for 4 weeks.
He sees her every week
and he'll say nothing until you know she marries somebody else.
Then you're gonna be secretly heartbroken.
Then you can be secretly heartbroken, honey. So I think I also think it comes to the part where also the research showed that sometimes men say they take their time. The staring is them taking their time.
No, it's not.
to assess if it's going to be because certain men, especially powerful men, let's talk about that too, because I interviewed a few of them.
Dun, dun, dun.
I interviewed a few of them, and they were like, Muriel, based on the position where I am in life, I can't afford to be seen with a woman who is going to discredit my integrity, the work that I have built or what I have done. That's good. Or the reputation I have built. Yeah. So I like to take a step back and check out, you know, what she's really about, what is her friend saying, even if on attraction, I really like what I see.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really good. But then I say, when do you stop staring? Like, when do you stop contemplating? Like, you can do that. I think that's good and I think that's wise. But set a date for yourself. Like, hey, I see this woman, I like her. You know, after a month of observing her, if I'm still observing her, because most times women can tell. I don't know if you know this, but most times.
I think it works both ways. I
Most
think women
times
know when men are attractive.
they know.
And guys definitely know. But guess what? Small statistic. I think it's men are 60% more likely to overestimate interest.
Yes, they are.
And women are likely to underestimate interest. Okay?
Yeah, that as well. So that's the second tip I just wanted to give. Like, give yourself like some time. Maybe you want to start on tips for women.
I mean, I was gonna go there, but I think that, and actually it is a tip for a woman. Now that I think about it, it's for both. I think examine the root and not the fruit. It's very easy for ourselves as women to begin to feel, well, you know, guys are not interested, or, you know, whenever I try and show my softness, it gets pushed away, or, you know, people are labeling me with these things that's not me. I think that you really got to look at, okay, so what are you putting out there? What is the fruit? And where is that coming from? Why do you feel the need to, in quote, stunt on all of these people and tell them everything you've done and everybody you know? Where is that coming from? Is it because it's genuinely, it flows out of you? Or is it coming from a place of fear that if I don't name drop, or if I don't, I need to basically, they call it revenge success. I need to show people that I've become something. Yeah. Very dangerous. Yeah. And also I would even go further to say that for a lot of guys, these things that we see as insecurity or shyness or hesitancy is also rooted in fear, and that's another fruit that we need to examine. Where has that fear come from? I am
look at the root of that.
Look at the root of that, because I talk to a lot of guys who would say, do you know what, like, they're nice, but and they'll begin to list, you know, things
the reasons.
And I'm like, well, where does that come from? Does this come from your home ideology of the man being here and the woman being here? And also, there's a book called The Sacred Search, which is really brilliant. I recommend it for those of you in that season of your lives. He outlays about 7 types of relationship or relationship dynamic. You know, you have the romantic kind of dynamic where both of you are just in love with each other, Romeo and Juliet. All you want to do is look at each other in the eyes and confess undying
Romeo and
love.
Juliet was actually not a good love. It was toxic. I don't know if people get that from, but by the time you break that down psychologically,
it's not the one. It's not sweet. Okay. Or, you know, there are career sort of dynamics where you're both powerhouses. You're both going for it. You're both ambitious, and your mission and what aligns you guys is you're being compelled to succeed and look good doing it. So different types of dynamics that you really need to think about, okay, why do I want what I want? So it's not just the fruit of, I want, you know, I like what I like, but really ask yourself, why do I want that? What does that tell me about me? Really do that self-assessment.
I think what I would add to that, so good by the way, Lalu. I think what I would add to that is a validation.
Ooh.
She has this thing that she says, shaka bomb, bro.
It hit me in my shanana. That's my spirit, by the way. Willie Moore Jr. calls it his shanana. Like, that hit me right there.
Pretty much. And I think it's very important, whether you're a man or a woman, to assess where you get your validation from. Because
that's good.
And this is something you said actually, so I'm just really saying her words. She said this to me, I don't know, you said this. She said, all validation is not good validation.
Oh, yeah.
You remember when you said that? You know, she was like
it wasn't me.
She said, all validation is not good validation. Yeah. Somebody could be validating you. And I'm speaking now to women and men. Like, somebody could be validating you, but it does not mean that they're good for you. Yeah. Do you understand? And when you come from maybe a broken home, or you come from a home where your dad wasn't present, or your dad didn't love you, or this. And even if you come from a full, established home with two parents, sometimes your validation is still in your performance. What can you do? Or how well did you do it? How well did you do it? And how do other people see it? And you have to assess for yourself. Take a step back. Because if you're going into any relationship, firstly thinking that this person has to validate you, you lose onset.
Ooh.
If you dating this person now makes you feel like, oh, I'm it.
I'm something.
I have arrived because so-and-so is dating me.
Yeah.
What happens when so-and-so leaves? What happened when, God forbid, so-and-so passes away? What happened when you find out so-and-so is cheating on you with so-so-so and so-so?
So times 5, so squared.
You have to really, really ask yourself, where do I get my validation? Where do I get my self-esteem? And how does that affect me? Because if your validation is coming from the wrong people, they have a remote control to your life. Because based on how they validate you, you switch. Yeah. If they validate you today, you're doing good. If they don't validate you, you're doing wrong. Yeah, and then what happens is you go into a cycle of self-rejection where you feel like you never belong. And allow yourself to grow and become at peace with yourself. Because I think that usually, I don't know if I should bring myself into it. Usually when men are at peace with themselves, they don't care how powerful you are. They don't care if you have, they don't care how much money you make. Yeah. They don't care how much you've done in your life. They are so confident in who they are as men and his manhood and his peace that he's like, but I can offer you leadership that you cannot offer yourself, sis. So are you going to follow me or not?
Yeah, I can teach you stuff that you don't know.
I can teach you stuff that you don't know, honey. And it's like, ooh, what is that? What is like, pique my interest? Like, tell me something. So
that's really good.
So it's very good to have really that peace for yourself. And women, like, don't be afraid of your femininity. And this is something I have to tell my strong friends a lot.
I am that strong friend.
Like, do not be afraid of the beauty that is being a woman. My good God, I couldn't be anything else. Let me tell you, I could not have been
dips and all.
I could not have been anything else but a woman, because I feel like God has graced us with a special gift and a calling in being women. Absolutely. And there are women on the internet that cringe, like I said, when they hear, oh, I'm gonna cook for my husband, I'm gonna do this for my husband, I'm gonna do that for my, and you're like, no, he better do all that for me, because no, honey, no. Because society may have taught you that you need to walk all over a man or boss over him or control him for you to, for God knows what, there's so much lies in society and culture nowadays, I don't even know which one to pick. So what I'm saying is there's biblical femininity, and if you read Proverbs 31 or Titus 2, in Proverbs 31, the Bible is literally talking about this quote-unquote boss woman. Have you read Proverbs 31? That woman wakes up before the sun comes up, okay? That woman is trading. That woman is looking how to invest. That woman is smart. But you know what it also says? That the heart of her husband is safe with her. Yes. Yeah. And that's that softness there. Like, she's doing all of these things, and the men respect his name, and they talk about him well because of all of these different things that she's doing. Yeah, and I would love to add to that, because I heard Rev Funke Adejimo say one time, she said that we should not condemn Delilah because she mastered something that a lot of women don't have. How could you have this macho man who absolutely destroyed Israel's enemies? Yeah. And he would just whimper and confess his life. Literally vomit his entire life while lying in her laps. Okay? Yeah. So I think that there's something about that can be tapped into. Yeah. Like, she's not just a devil. Exactly. She understood something about her womanhood. Can I tell you something else a pastor told a friend of mine and I? Yeah. He said that women of the world, which was crazy. I told you this, right? He said women of the world understand quicker how to treat a man. And that's why women in the and that's why why women in the church are like, God, I've been serving you all my life and nobody loves me. Maybe because you're rough,
Yeah. Maybe everything is rough play all of the time. Sometimes be gentle.
Like be. It's okay to. I wanted to read the scripture. It's okay to be a woman in whichever way God leads you in that. Go ahead and do that. But it's Proverbs 21:11. It says, "The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain." Man, like finding your wife is finding favor. Like you gain gates, like gates open to you.
Your life prospers.
Okay, but it says literally like she does him good and not evil all the days of her life. And then it goes, she seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. And you can go read the scripture for yourself, but it's literally talking about how verse 23 says her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. So this is not a man who is weak or who is wimping. Anywhere it says her husband also. And her husband also praises her. Yeah. So it's not a man who is out there, sitting somewhere weak and God knows what else. Yeah. It's literally because, she's doing what she's called to do for the family, and he's doing what he's called to do for the family. And whichever way that shows and that grows, that is what is most important. Because what you said, it's like Delilah wasn't all wrong. Except for the lying, the conniving, and the working with the enemy, and all of that. She's not a great character. She had to be doing something. She was doing something. For great old Samson to sit down in her lap. Yeah. That's all I'll say. Yeah. I think it was, and this is why I miss my Nan so much. It was, she came to preach and she said that we're missing the older women in the church. Yeah. Because the older women are supposed to teach the younger women. And my Nan was this person that was teaching all the younger women. Yeah. Do you understand? Like, my Nan would be quick to tell Pop, like, Pop, ain't nobody afraid of you. My Nan was a pastor, a nurse, she had businesses and all of these different things. But when it came to respecting Pop, and when it came to serving Pop, she was not lucky. He was her first priority. First priority in those things. Yeah. So, guys, a woman being powerful is to your advantage. Yeah. It is not to your advantage. I mean, ladies, please don't go out there and be rebellious. Don't be still saying stuff like, I make more than you. And at the end of the day, the crowds are going to go home. Like, depending on what kind of job you have, if you're like a woman that speaks and is commanding crowds, at the end of the day, that crowd is going to go home, honey. And that crowd is not going to keep you warm at night. that crowd. You need some yams in your bed. Oh my God, she did not just say this. Oh my God. At the end of the day, if you're a man, the crowd is going to go home. Yeah. Right? And you need to be invested in building a relationship with someone that you can trust. Someone that you can say, I can put my heart in her care. Absolutely. Because she submits to God. Absolutely. Do you understand? So you don't want to lose that advantage of a powerful woman because you're afraid. It's like, go back to God. I think it's Proverbs 28:1 that says, the righteous are as bold as a lion. Go back to God and say, God, I lost my boldness somewhere. And I need it went missing. Yeah. And I need you to bring it back. I need you to give it back to me. And God says, if you lack something, ask. God is not going to, withhold it. He's really going to give it to you. Yeah. And I think that's a really good point to end on. For a lot of guys, just heal, bro. Yeah. I think that it's easy to see that power as something that she wants to abuse you with, or something that she wants to commandeer and lord it over you with. Because scripture does say, the Adamic nature of even woman is that her desire will be for her husband, and that's not just for to love her husband, that is for her position. So that's something a lot of women would war with, would wrestle with. But as long as she's submitted, actually there's space for her to grow underneath your leadership. So for a lot of you that are triggered by strength, you bros that are triggered by strength, please heal. And for our sisters out there, please remember how power looks. Power can be both soft and strong. Yeah. You can be gentle and
bold.
I'll lend them my definition of femininity. For me, femininity is tender power.
There we go.
Like, I am powerful, but I'm also tender, and I'm soft, and I'm teachable, and I'm all of these different things.
Yeah.
So that's just my own definition.
We're stealing it.
So, like, you know, you can go ahead and say, you know, I am tender power. Like, I'm still gonna get things done, but it's gonna be done tenderly.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me less or anything.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So guys, this is the end of this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope it blessed you.
Yeah.
If you have things to say, make sure you add something in the comments.
We want to hear from
We
you.
want to hear from you. Tweet
Tell
about
us what
this.
you're thinking. Tell us your
Yes.
struggles. What we're saying really is talk to us.
Yes,
Like, let's
let's
get
have
a
a
conversation going. Because these are things that, as we said, that we talk about all the time because other people bring it to us in our different professions.
Yes.
She's the CEO of a really good, you know, tech company, Neo.
Yes.
You know, she is literally.
It says Oyen, by the way.
She is literally working to economically empower, you know, Black women through Neo. And she also, you know, she literally gives people languages for their journey, of which I am a great benefactor.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. She is really, really blessed. So I'm very, very happy that, you know, we are able to bring our personal
and bring
conversations.
our worlds together.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for you, raising the standard,
Yeah,
and defeating poverty is very much down to the mental space.
Yeah, mental health work.
And actually, you know, as Paul says, we can only prosper as our souls prosper.
Exactly.
So if the soil of your soul is old and moldy, then your life's gonna
Be
look like
old
that.
and moldy.
So she is very, very well known, and she has dealt with some of the greatest people, celebs and non-celebs in the world.
Grateful.
She has the privilege of speaking into people's lives and building people up again.
Yeah.
And she's done that for me. She's so kind and precious. So we just
This
love
thing that we
each
met
other.
in Dubai a couple of months ago. We
really did.
We actually met in Dubai a couple of months ago, and yeah, we just became friends. So literally, so we're just really merging our worlds. We think that something good can come from this.
Yes.
We've gotten a lot of confirmation from God about this as well.
Yeah.
So we just want to bring what we have learned over the years in our own lives, in our own careers, to the body, and let's just get equipped together. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, and stay tuned for
Stay tuned
episode 2.
for episode